gentlemen, we're back. Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. Let's hear this report from P. Hill.
Dude, I feel like I'm hungover and I didn't drink a drop.
I've heard him say that shit before.
Not a drop.
You sound like Paul now.
Yes.
How was it announcing there? Let's start there.
I got the opportunity to announce with Mr. Jim Jacks.
OG
as they come. He retired in 2018. A staple for any announcer over in that area, and he was just awesome dude to work with, and everybody knew his voice.
So he was our wolf.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was the wolf, without a doubt. Great facilities, good PA. You know, everything is legit. And the show.
You knew that going into this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We all knew that. Like,
yeah, it's not like I was going to some shithole track somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
100%. I mean, like, everybody that knows what we do, we don't push a lot of other shows. I mean, we always try to get the word out at our shows, but I took the time to make several different posts about this on our promotion page.
Yes.
You know, to the point where, and it's not that I don't want to help anybody out. It's I end up taking questions on that shit. And I already get enough phone calls.
Yeah.
Because I think I ended up, after I made that post, with about 35 calls over, hey, what's going on with this derby? And I'm like, here's what I know. Here's the contact information you need if you would have read the flyer that I posted.
Yeah.
But just because of the magnitude and the purpose of that show, and Austin's cool shit. I mean, we've had him in here, and he had half my tech crew there, and my announcer. So,
yeah.
I guess he had a little filthy in that show.
He did.
And your safety guy.
And my safety guy.
The amount of cars, which we figured up, I think, right about that 140 range, everything went pretty smooth. The only thing that they had an issue with, during the drivers' meeting, they did heat draws because everything except the mod compacts and the minivans and trucks ran heats. Guys were putting their own class on. So they write their name in the wrong class. They draw a name out, and he's like, hold on. That's not my class. You know, so just some small hiccups like that. But I think they got started roughly 20 or 30 minutes after what they were thinking. And I think the last checkered flag dropped at about 1 o'clock, a little bit after.
They did better than we did.
They had auction items, raffle stuff. What else do they have? 50-50 raffles.
Presentation to the family.
It sounded like the money was there last night.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it sounded like there's no way that the Terry Lierly Memorial Fund should be fulleth.
It is plentiful. I think after that, it is very plentiful.
And that's what their goal was.
Yes. Yeah.
So it sounds like to me the end result of the Southern Number 9 tour was a success.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's pretty safe to say that the Pike County Fair Board is 100% on for next year. I know we talked to Austin just a couple episodes ago when we were talking about this, and
the only dude that I know that's ever helped put on derbies that said he'd like to put on about 90 of them a year. He deserves every derby he wants.
Yes. Yeah. The show was great.
Holy shit. Straight up holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was...
Man, y'all, I wanted to be there bad.
I was trying to keep you informed on Snapchat the best we could.
Yeah, and it worked. I just... This job right now, I'm telling you, it's insane. I haven't been home. I was home, 24 hours last weekend?
Yep.
A total of 24, like from the time I pulled into my house until I left again was 24 hours. It just, and then this weekend, I tried to spend a little time with the kids. We're recording this shit, and I've got to be at work tonight.
Yep. But the cool thing about that is you didn't get to watch it. So we're going to highlight it here. But you can go on derbynation.tv, rent it. I think it's $22.95 or something like that, and then you get 30 days of replay on it.
Hey, Si, can I borrow $20?
$22.95.
No, I got the $2.95.
I'm broke.
But man,
Where you want to start?
I've got a guy sitting right next to me that was actually there last night running in the big car hobo class.
Big car, hobo or homo?
Homo. Definitely.
Well, hey, I said hobo. I didn't say mo. We've got Mr. Drew Eubank in the house with us. How you feeling this morning, sir?
Well, a little tired and really sore.
Really sore. I felt for you, I really did, because you were going from one end of that track to the other in the heat and the consi and your feature, because you did have to take the long route. You had one guy glued to you the entire time.
And I'm glad he was glued to me and never got across the track from me. Because, and I tried my hardest to stay away from concrete blocks. And it's just, I mean, you don't want to get close to them.
It seems like, and Derek and I have talked about this a lot. That's why I try not to have any concrete at any of our shows. Every time I've ever run on concrete, it's like you're like, all right, I'm going to stay. I'm going to work middle of the track. Stay away from that shit. Wrong. You're in the concrete immediately.
And then the concrete does not give.
And it feels like that shit's like closing in on you
Yeah.
as you're running.
It does.
I was in the middle of the track, I swear. Like, and 2 hits later, you
can reach out and touch the block. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of Illinois? They run a little different over there, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely go to party.
Oh, yeah. They show up and show out.
Yeah.
It's crazy the mentality that comes from those guys over there. They don't give a fuck if they win.
No.
No, they
Not
don't.
a single one.
What they care about is everybody standing up and have their phones out.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Did you
On
see
the
that?
chip,
Yeah.
5-speed shuffling it. I mean, just
Wide open. And it's
Oh,
from the kids that are 14 years old running the youth shit all the way up to your old dogs, Alan Brown, that
Yep.
we seen in the heat.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
yeah.
I mean, the video that Sai put out there, where you tagged him in that Snapchat,
Yeah,
it's went everywhere. I've seen it everywhere. I've already
He,
seen it on TikTok. I've seen it
he should-
re-snap. I've seen it on Facebook.
I sent that, tagged him in it. He immediately, as soon as he was able to get his phone out after the heat, he's like, "Can you send that to me in Facebook Messenger? Can you send that to me in the Messenger side of Snapchat? And if it don't go through either way, can you send that to me in a text message?" I'm like, "I will send it to you every which way possible." And then he re-uploaded it to a Snapchat story. But like you said a while ago, how it feels like working the middle of the track when you're in concrete. That car he hit was in the middle of the track, and he sent it over the berm.
No. He just pushed he made the track bigger. I've seen it.
Just needed to relocate some blocks.
Well,
He didn't have enough real estate.
Yes.
speaking of that, if you look in that video closely, you see Cedric do some sort of little fancy dance to get out of
Yeah, he was
Alabama.
doing some ballerina shit. He
Yeah.
got to do that a couple times
He
last
said-
night, and him and Jerry ended up switching ends.
And then down there on the other ends where Alan ended up last
Yeah.
night, he said he was off the concrete blocks 8 times last night, and I think the first thing out of my mouth was, "You're acting like Steven."
He would have fallen on the
Shut
way.
I don't even know if he'd have fallen. He might have just got tossed off. Because over on that east end, I don't think there was as much room over there between the blocks of the bleachers as
But
there
I
was over
think-
to the west. Uh-oh. Happy birthday to you.
Came with Jack Margarita.
Happy birthday to you.
Came with Jack Margarita.
Happy birthday, Big D.
Came with Jack Margarita.
Happy birthday to you.
Twicey.
46 years young today. No gray hair, but there's very little
What?
there.
Gray beard.
I don't see
Nothing
no
on
gray
my
in the
head.
beard.
But I think
And the wife points it out.
It's all over it.
I think A. Brown, the side of his car described a lot of it. But anyway, back to that. What class you want to start with? Let's go there.
We'll just start with the top one. First class came out was front wheel drive hobos. They had 3 heats of 14. They took 5 out of each heat. Run 1 consi, took 5. Now, out of that 5 out of the heat, if somebody got the Mad Dog,
Automatic.
automatic pulled out, and then they only took 4 more. They didn't run into it last night because there's a possibility you could have had 4 Mad Dogs in one heat and still only had to take one more left,
Well, he said in the meeting that he was only going to take at max two Mad
two?
Dogs. 2 Mad Dogs and then down to 3 at the end. But because I asked him
that uses up a car. You
Yeah.
know, and people don't think about that, especially non-derby drivers. Whenever they tell you shit like that, you're like, "Whew, I go out there and turn it up off the bat, or should I try to fight down to that 3 in this 14-car heat?" Because that position from that 2 to 3, or that 5 to 3 cars, that 2 extra cars, that could be a fight.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can get in a full-blown, all-out junk fest trying to get that top 3
Yeah, and then you got 5 pieces of shit going to the feature
that are junk.
that are just garbage. Yeah. Normal guys. I mean, a lot of the guys that run over on our side of the river too. Tyler Killenbeck, Dylan Patrick, Zach Frutig, Ethan Sidwell. All those guys.
It sounded like some of them come out with a check. Was that the way I understood?
Yeah. Check. Mr. Dylan Patrick ended up 3rd place check and a baddest motherfucker belt. Because that was their Dominator belts. And it was cool as shit. They were black leather with chrome plating. And it had the number 9 with the wings right in the middle. Baddest on the top, motherfucker on the bottom. So, on the track announcing that stuff, I had to be very politically correct until Dylan asked for the microphone.
I heard it from the tech shed.
And I was like, here it comes. Here it comes. And, he wanted to thank everybody. And ever since Austin posted what the belts had on them, he said, that's what I wanted. And he said it, and I walked around after he gave me the microphone back, and Austin's looking at me. He's starting to laugh, and I said, for some reason, I knew he was going to be the one to say that.
Right.
He's like, you're right. I knew it. He's like, as soon as I saw him grab the microphone, I was like, yep, he's going to say it. But if he didn't want that said by somebody else, he wouldn't have put it on there.
Right.
It came down to what really sucks. East Pike boys built a front-wheel drive hobo car to auction. Lo and behold, I'm not no auctioneer.
Right.
I was waiting for you to try it, though. I really was.
I can't do it. I cannot. You want me to sing it? I can sing it, but I cannot auction
Do it. Sing it.
No. Chad Hurd, which we have talked about on this podcast before. He gets the winning bid for the front-wheel drive hobo car. I thought, okay, shit's gonna pick up. I don't know what happened, but he only lasted about 2 minutes. Something happened. I could see him messing with wires or something. I mean, it's not... I'm sure it was just a fluke deal because we had it... You always got East Pike boys running, whether it's Noah Lynch or Austin Spada, Clayton, all those guys. I mean, their shit's right. It just... But then Chad kind of redeemed himself because his better half won the 50-50. So he got to recoup a little bit of his money. Those guys, when it came down to roughly the last 5 or 6, the shots started coming. Dylan started turning it up. He was on a W body, which we're used to seeing him, in a van on this side. But he did only take one. Zach was in, I couldn't even tell what he was in. And those guys, they show up and they get it on, Tyler Killenbeck pulled out the big fat check, which he won our Mother's Day show.
Right.
That's who was feeding it to Hendren and Stevenson, in the van. Straight up dudes. There was a little, not really a squabble,
Right.
but a few choice words to each other, and they got that squashed, and they both come up and talked to me and got their checks, later.
Well, let's go to the next class.
Wow. Mini trucks and minivans. Cody Meyer was in his minivan.
Right.
Kevin Ullman came down 500 miles one way in his minivan. Justin Lane's in a Dodge Dakota. Justin won the compact show back in the summer for their fair show. Legit dude, he gives zero shits. It's on. It came down to Kevin and Justin. Kevin was the winner on that one. Bank don't care. I'm not sure what happened. Mid-pack, I saw him reach up and break his stick off, so I wasn't sure, what happened there, and I didn't get to talk to Cody afterwards. But then the really cool part of it is when we pulled the weld compacts out, they both had a compact. Their roles flipped. So we had Kevin laying the shot on the Dakota in the van class, and then Justin was laying the shots on Kevin in the compact class. But
I guess everybody that was watching this show, they were probably up getting beers during all this.
Except Dino. Dino took Cody Bedsworth's car. Not sure what happened. He took off and...
Did he take the cooler lid off the top of it?
Nope.
No, he didn't.
I think it fell off in the middle of it. 'Cause I think it was laying out on the track. I think.
Yeah, it was still up there. I got to talk to him right afterwards. He didn't know what happened, and then I turned around, I look over, and Cody fires it up and drives it off the track. I don't know if starter wire come off, just something stupid, that he couldn't reach, because I can see him reaching
Dino,
down.
it was probably a fuel pump wire or something like that.
Because I don't put a nut on it.
All year.
Let's
I thought about calling Danny Hobbs, see if I could rent his car or something, take over there.
Danny was there.
Was he?
Big car.
Right.
Yep, street
I
style.
want his little car.
I wouldn't want to drive that.
He's the only one that I know that I could fit in his...
Tyler. You can fit in Tyler's.
Yeah. Well, I was talking height-wise. Like Hobbs is...
Danny's not much taller than Tyler is.
he's,
Inch or two, maybe.
yeah.
But I think Danny's old legs. Tyler's not so much, but...
I found a car I could fit in.
Did
over
you?
There. That stock car. That number 40.
Mr. Derek Cleaton. He's a big old boy, too, and he was 5-speeding it. That's the one that Drew got really acquainted with all night long.
You got to see him up close and personal.
That motor sounds pretty good in your driver's door.
Was the sound of that motor something like, why did it in your ear?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I think that was LS chipping,
Oh,
but it was a lot.
that car pulled into tech with a guy his size in it, and I looked up and I'm like,
Let's get into the important class.
Big car hobos.
Yeah.
3 heats, taking 5, same way. Take 5 out of the heat. There were some legit dudes for a stock class.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, we all knew it. Not everybody knew there was going to be 4 guys from around here that were going to go. Sean Pfeiffer, Justin Morgan, Frank Hancock, and Drew went over there. But when you've got 36 other cars against 4, those odds really suck balls.
And there was me, Justin, and Frank in the first heat, and we talked to a couple of guys afterwards, and we had every local guy that was somebody in our heat.
That was somebody.
And I mean, not saying that they're not all somebody, but yeah, they definitely didn't. They didn't welcome us well on the track.
The Pointies welcomed you well.
Yeah.
The 5-speed 3-pedal life was very welcoming to y'all.
Yes.
Nate Hull welcomed you very well.
Nate Hull welcomed a lot of people very well last night. But it comes back, man. An OG won it. Mike Rice.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, it came down to him and Nate.
How long had it been since you've been in the car? been a minute.
I swear Nate told me.
Didn't he
last
say that?
night.
Didn't he say Nate won the last one?
Yeah.
He got second. They switched spots.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, like, he hadn't been in the car before this year for a while.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not that I have seen at all. But, man, the heats kind of started out a little weird because it was like you got some people that were trying to go for the Mad Dog, and then they were like, maybe not. Maybe I'd better chill this shit down a little bit. Except for the Basco boys.
Yeah, come on now.
They got their own parts trailer.
There's a reason why they have their own parts trailer, because they break a lot of shit. Mr. Hornung actually took home the baddest belt, and I mean, but he stood it up, and he stood it up, and he stood it up, and there was just, there was really good cars, really good drivers, some OGs from like Mike and I think Josie Daniels with some cannons. Bull hauler turnouts,
Some Gage shit.
Yes, not quite as tall as Gage, but then they turned them out.
Is that the Terminator car?
Yes, that was a Terminator car.
I've seen some pretty cool paint jobs and shit.
There's a lot of them.
I've seen a lot of no paint too.
A lot of no paint. There was a load of no paint. Hell, yours wasn't painted.
I didn't have time to paint mine.
And when you build the car the night before you go to the Derby, he's like, "This is the fucking 8th time I've had this rear end in this piece of shit."
And he made it the longest out of the 4.
The third one.
I kept getting Snapchats. I'm like, "Fuck that!" I would have already quit. Like, fuck it. Wad this piece of shit up and throw it away.
Well, that one, about not 8:30 Friday night. I knew my alternator pulley was bent, but it had held that whole day whenever I drove it after I got the rear end in. And I started up in the shop and I just
Throw the belt on.
started throwing belts. So at 8 o'clock, I'm scrounging around because the other 8 power steering pumps we got, the pulleys are bent. So luckily I called Frank and he had one. So I went to the Derby with no power steering belt, no belts, no pulley, and just, it was like, I looked at Justin and I was like, "Oh, are you sure we want to go?"
Well, sure.
Did I hear in the pit show the Carroll boys say something about he went up to try to find a pulley off an old combine?
Well, we
tried.
Yeah, we went over to their farm and tried to find anything we could that would fit just to get there, and it wasn't happening. So at about 11 o'clock, I called Frank and I was like, "You got an extra power steering pump?" He said, "Yeah, I got one sitting here."
You just do it there. I mean,
Yeah, it took 5 minutes. Somebody said he's pretty quick at that, and Justin goes, "Well, it's about the 6th time he's did it in the last 24 hours."
But the big deal is, like, did you have fun?
Oh, I had a blast.
I mean, that's the thing about Drew. He might get up on his lid,
Oh yeah, 100%.
as he did at
Seen
Showbana,
that happen.
and he might get his shit jumped. But I've never seen the guy get out and be upset, ever.
No, I mean, we knew when we got there we were gonna have a hell of a ride, and that we had. I mean, Austin was great, very appreciative. I don't know how many times he thanked us for coming. Even the drivers, they were all great. Got out, shook hands, everything else. Of course, they didn't know us. Frank had ran over there 20 years ago.
Right.
And Frank had kind of a reputation over there of being a wheelman. And the older guys, everybody knew Frank. Well, their kids, nephews were all running. And dads and uncles were saying,
Watch
better
those guys.
better watch out for them.
watch these Missouri guys. And there was 2 of them that came up to us afterwards and they said, "We were told we had to take you 2 out or you'd be there at the end." And that they did. I mean, at one time, I never stopped getting hit.
No, it looked like at one time you were just kind of like a pinball in the middle, because you would line up a shot, and next thing you know, somebody's driving in your quarter, spin you around, and then he was
that
using.
sounds like the dreaded Eddie Chick. You know, whenever you're trying to do something, and Eddie's right there, just
except he was getting smoked.
Right.
I mean, I had, like I said, that number 40 car. He was glued to me. So not only was I trying to stay as close to him as I could, but then you had 5 other guys that you couldn't watch.
Right.
And I mean, he would get you to slow down enough to where they could. I mean, I don't know how many times my helmet hit the pillar. I didn't even look at it. It's probably cracked out. Who knows?
First thing you said to me when you come out of that entrance, you're like, a few of those rung my bell.
Yeah, it did.
You were a little dazed.
I mean,
Buddy got out afterwards and shook a few guys' hands just
You
even on the
drank
way
it,
out.
did you?
honestly, I didn't drink 4 of them.
Really?
I didn't sleep an hour. I didn't sleep 2 hours Friday night. I was nervous, son of a bitch. Friday night. I mean, I was in bed at midnight, and I bet I didn't sleep 2 hours till 6 o'clock. And it was, you know how Pleasant Hill is. You know what it means to go
We
to
were
Pleasant
talking
Hill.
about this the other day with
And
Austin.
I mean,
That stigma.
to be taking a car to Pleasant Hill, you know what's coming. You're an out-of-stater, not an out-of-towner, an out-of-stater. And I mean, you know that there's going to be 30 guys within 20 minutes of Pleasant Hill.
That all know each other. and
That
running-
all know each
whether
other.
they're running in Griggsville or Mount Sterling, someplace, you know, that all those guys will usually run together or against each other at all
Yeah.
times.
And you have
You're
4
kind of that wrench that just gets thrown in the middle, and then they've got to figure out what they're going to do to get rid of that wrench.
Well, they know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah. They're going to feed it to them.
And like I said, Frank, I mean, me and Frank made it to the feature. And he said, well, I'm in it as long as you are. But he said, I don't think. And he seen I broke my stick, and he didn't. His back deck was almost to his tranny cooler. And he said, I'm done. He said,
Well, I was kind of worried because he took a nasty firewall shot on the south end or the east end. When he broke, he got out and he was limping pretty bad. So,
yeah.
was he good? Did
Yeah,
he smoke
he
a
was.
shin,
He
or-
was good. You know, he was fine. He said it was just a little sore, cramping up. But I mean, hell, he's been doing it 32 years. I think.
Well, you remember whenever he won at Shelvana,
Mhm.
our show, that dude was done. Whenever he got out of the car, he was done.
Wore
He was
slick.
hot.
Yep.
He was wore out. I wouldn't know that feeling. I never liked that feeling.
I mean, I didn't last that long, but I'm telling you, I was wore out because they wore me out.
Yeah.
I mean, at one time, I actually had Frank's daughter's boyfriend rode with me in the feature. And he's like, I think you had 6 cars hit you at once. And I was like, I didn't know. I said, I didn't know you could get hit 6 different times, 6 different places on a car, but they found
They did.
every nook and cranny
Yeah.
of it.
Well, let's jump into street stock.
Oh, my.
Dun, dun, dun.
Where to start? When you have a field of some McAllister boys, some Brown boys, some Hill boys,
Justin Meyer.
I mean, the list just keeps going. Harley Miller, Justin
I got a
Meyer.
picture of Justin's car. I think she's done.
You think? It didn't look, other than the steering.
His plates are all touching. And they weren't.
Oh, awesome.
It was like it pushed the frame inside the frame.
You accordioned it.
Broke a trailing arm right off the bat.
At the boxes where his plates were, it twisted and pushed. I don't know, it almost, I don't know, it's bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
But it looked like he got 5th place, maybe a wheelman.
5th place wheelman. Then got those wheels that were donated.
Oh,
Those built wheels.
yeah.
Great luck, aren't they?
Oh, that's trade bait for him.
Right.
Yeah, you know. So
Which that body that's on that car, that was that 76 Elite I had.
we have spoken. We don't like heats
Not at all.
at all. If they wouldn't have ran heats last night, that feature would have probably lasted 2 hours. I really legitimately think.
You would have ran out of gas.
Or yeah, I ran out of gas. Those things, which you were speaking of earlier, Alan told me after Paris. He said, I'm going there to hurt feelings, and I don't have any intention on winning this thing.
He was wrong.
He was wrong. He won it, plus the Dominator.
And hurt some feelings.
And hurt a lot of feelings.
And some cars.
And some cars. He hurt his own cars.
That was the most bellied I've ever seen Cadillac.
I have never seen a car sitting level on ground
The front tires
with the
not
back
touching.
tires touching and the front tires not.
Somebody said after his heat he had some welding to do on something.
It started to come up.
And I don't know
After
if
the
it
heat.
maybe a cradle broke after the heat.
The
I
only
didn't
time
watch
I've
it.
ever seen anybody break a cradle completely out of a Cadillac was at Paris. When Rob hit Jesse. Rob Hewer hit Jesse Gonzalez, and it knocked the cradle completely out of his car.
Yeah.
I think he broke it. I mean, I think he cracked it down the side is what I heard. I don't know, but they said that.
I wouldn't know how he did that.
I think he was widening tracks.
Maybe running 35 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour, and cramming it up.
But Alan said it doesn't hurt as bad when you're in an old iron.
Well, I got to talk to Alan afterwards. Elena got to ride with him again. And I told him while we were doing the on-track interview, this show meant a lot to the Brown family. They were very close with Terry. And I didn't mean to put Alan on the spot the way I did. But I asked Alan, I said, this show, you doing what you did, how much did that mean to you? And he for real couldn't even talk to me. I can just see the expression in his face, and it changed a little bit from the happy smile, to raw emotion. I'm just glad there wasn't a camera shoved in his face while we were doing that interview. But this thing got stupid in a hurry times 10. Last 5 cars: Cody Brown, Alan Brown, Dalen Brown, Gary Robinson, and Sean DeWitt. So you're talking father, son, Terry's brother-in-law, and Gary, who was very close with, Alan and Dalen and all them guys. Dalen had no steering. 98 to 02, he lost steering, probably 10 minutes left. We are all used to Dalen running balls out. That is the best I've ever seen him drive, was last night. He'd stand on it, he couldn't get it to where he'd go, and he would never lift. He'd grab reverse and stand on it more, and just was anywhere he wanted to go. I mean, that's what he did. Cody, the Cadillac, it lost some steering and then bellied, and then he was just kind of hosed. Snapchats everywhere. Dalen's pointy was no longer attached to both frame rails. I ripped the frame rail off. Still attached to the bumper. Core support gone. Still running.
We had 34 foot of core support spacer in that car.
Yeah.
There's no way that him or Cody
Should have been able
or
to see all that.
Alan could have reached up and checked the antifreeze in that car.
No, they probably had to get a step stool.
100%. Because I seen one of the spacers, they didn't have a long enough piece, they added to the top of the spacer. You could see where it had been spliced. Was there a window up front that he could look through the hood and through the spacer?
I truthfully think you could.
The core support was above the bumper.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was up there.
It looked like to me it was a complete roll of the dice whether it was going to go up or down.
And which we talked off air, it started to look like it was going to go down, but it didn't. I mean, I was like, man, this thing's going
But
to
I'll
start
never take
bulldozing.
anything away from Dalen. The dude knows the 98
Yes, he does.
So for everything that was done to that car, there was a reason.
Yep.
It wasn't like he was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna try this. No.
We'll see how this does. No, he's done some research.
Because you never see his shit nose.
No. It'll always push back.
Yep.
But it did start nosing last night. But
you also never used them as fucking jackhammers.
Jackhammers.
They were never a nail. They were always a hammer.
Yeah. When you got Brock and Tyler Hill in wagons, and just the other guys that were there that I'm not used to seeing, other than
Right.
that group. I mean, those things were stupid hard, and we got down to roughly about 10, and then it was just game on. Hell, we had Avery Hunault,
Right.
who's ran just a handful of derbies. He bought a car, turnkey, him and CJ Barnes. CJ puts his motor in it, and wow. So CJ was being able to do a lot of teaching and pointing, as a driver should.
Right.
Just what to do, a lot of hand signals. But that thing snooted. Avery ended up 9th. He got the Terry number, and took home a good check. I'm not sure if CJ made it to work this morning, because at 2 o'clock he was still at the track and the car wasn't loaded yet, and he said he had to be at work at 6:30.
How'd the Iowa boys do?
Oh, I think the only one there was Walker Henderson.
How'd he do?
7th, 8th, somewhere right in there.
Because that's the first time them guys have come this direction.
Correct. Yeah. I know there was a lot of other cars that had
Did you get to see that
pre-registered.
loudmouth Levi there last night? I know that I got a couple Snapchats. He was wandering around there.
I never saw him.
Yeah, he's probably over at the food stands.
Well, there was 11 of them. He had pretty good choices.
I guarantee the fucker was drinking Miller Lite and mouthing somebody.
I never did see him.
I got a Snapchat from him, and I seen that golden lid that locks in that great Pilsner taste. So I know he was wandering around that fucker somewhere.
So anybody who watched the show last night and didn't stick around for the aftermath, what happened was Cody, he went out in 5th. So you had Sean DeWitt, Gary Robinson, Dalen, and Alan Brown. Sean gets up on the wall. Dalen hits Sean. Gary feeds it to them both. Alan backs up, feeds it to Sean. Backs up, feeds it to Sean again. And he was backing up. They threw the red flag because, seriously, there was flames shooting out of Alan's pinion brake. Not sparks, flames. Made sure nothing was happening. So that red flag restarts the time on these other cars that hadn't moved.
Unless you talk to some of the people that bitch at our shows, that's not how it works.
Yeah. 99.9% of every derby that works
Red
that same way.
flag, restart.
Resets. So they throw the green. Alan hammers Sean again. At this point, if anybody saw Alan's car, it's done. Seriously, we always say the bumper is higher than the roof. I'm going to say the core support was higher than the roof. I mean, it was like a
I got
90.
to see the pictures.
So what had transpired in all that, since Sean, Gary, and Dalen all went out at the same time, they split 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Not sure with the big checks who got what. But all those guys get out, talking shit on each other. I didn't think you were going to do it, but I looked over and you kept on feeding it. Just friendly stuff. But the show itself, like I said, was just stupid
But
crazy.
you gotta watch Sean. He's underestimated, I think.
Yes, he is.
You gotta watch him. That dude's always there at the end.
Yep.
Not everybody. Nobody's
Dude,
ever
he was
talking
in
about
a
it.
cherry ass rivy last night. And I mean cherry.
But you know what I'm saying? Like nobody ever talks about Sean until they
Get down
worry about
last three.
Sean.
Yeah, last 5, you're like, hold on, his shit's really good looking. And
There's
mine's
Sean.
not so much.
There's Sean.
But yeah, that, like I said, we're going to give it up to Austin. And the show was legit.
All in all, Drew, on your thoughts, would you go back?
It'd be a while.
So you're not going back in October?
No.
Well, you get to add some plates then.
You probably couldn't. You couldn't drag me to a derby today.
Which he did say off camera or off air that he didn't get home until 6 o'clock this morning.
And then I was calling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, who the hell's calling me? And I'm like, oh, wait, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Most people's up.
Yeah. But, man, that was the recap on that. Austin's having a cleanup show October 22nd after their points presentation and trophies and stuff.
And that cleanup show will actually be following the following week after
Halloween Havoc.
our cleanup show.
Yes.
And I think he's going to give you 2 more plates than what we're giving out.
Yeah,
So,
he's going to get 14.
The end of this year, everybody's getting all the plates.
Every one's of them.
You're going to run out of metal putting plates on these cars. You want to jump into a little bit of the Havoc shit real quick before we pin Drew down under the fucking
Under the
spotlight?
microscope a little bit. October 15th, Halloween Havoc.
Paris, Missouri.
It's going to be in Paris. You are getting 4 extra plates in each class.
Except for Gut and Goes.
Except for Gut and Goes.
You can have 2 of those.
You can have 2. Gut and Goes, 2.
And they are 6x6x8. All this will be posted on Filthy Promotions. That's trademark Ricky Bobby.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Gut and Goes. Y'all heard that.
2 plates.
You get 2 plates. 6x6x8.
No frame stuffing.
No
No
frame
stuffing. If you stuff a frame and we find it,
I'm kicking you in the dick.
You load and get a dick cunt. Gut and Goes. 1,200 to win, 600 for second, 300 for third, 50
for fourth.
For fourth. To get your money back. So we just said that right there. So that means it's a $50 entry, just as our normal, like a fair show. $40 for your rider, $25 for your pit pass, $15 for your general admission. Street stocks is going to pay $1,800, $900, $450, and $50. Bone stocks, we're matching it.
18.
We figured give you guys. You have been the show the last
3
few
shows.
of our derbies.
Yeah. Street stock had it at the beginning.
Yep.
Everybody kind of run out of the street stock cars. But after last night, I feel like there's a few that could float around over here if they wanted to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they're actually probably...
Especially with 4 extra plates. And we're going to work with all rule sets on this one, just like we did last year.
Correct. To a certain extent.
100%. If you're 14 inches too fucking short, don't count.
Yeah. If you're cut all the way back to the upper control arm pockets, just be done with it. Don't just leave it at the house.
Yeah, if your fan's sticking out in front of your bumper, you're not coming in.
But we are going to our bone stock is going to match our street stock for that night. 18, 9, 450, and 50. Our compacts, we're going to pay you $1,500, $750, $3 1/4, and $50.
That's fair.
No heats.
Nope.
One and done.
If we've got to double the shit again, we'll do it.
Yep. Tech time is going to be from 11 to 4. If you are not in that tech line by 3 o'clock,
and you've already paid your entry fee, you ain't getting the shit back.
Nope.
You're going to be a proud spectator or driving home $50 less.
Pissed off.
Sorry.
Start time. We're going to start this derby at 5.
Yeah. I'm going to pull cars on the track at 5 o'clock.
Just the way we did last year.
Yep.
You guys keep reteching. We'll start going.
Yep.
Gonna have the monster trophies again. You know, the 6-footers.
They were going 6, 4, and 2.
6, 4, 2, and 1. Because we're actually gonna give 4th place a trophy as well. You know, somebody has been on your nuts a little bit about some point stuff.
Yeah. It was Teddy. Teddy's the one that's been on my nuts.
I wasn't gonna call him out.
Teddy Papadopoulos, number 13. Normally runs Cadillacs, has been in some new styles. I don't want any confusion here. It's Teddy Papadopoulos.
Sorry, Ted. But
Not really.
We will announce some point stuff after that show.
Yep. So be there.
Yes.
Teddy
P.
Calling Teddy Papadopoulos.
Yes.
Be there.
Yeah. So,
something about a big badass championship belt. I don't know. It's crazy.
yeah. So we hit on that stuff. Ours will be the 15th. If you got anything left after the 15th, you can throw some extra plates on it and roll that shit back over to Pleasant Hill and finish it off and put your stuff
So
out.
just to clear everything up, that is 12 plates in the street stock. That is 10 plates in the stock class. If you want to call me your stock car and you're building a fresh one, put 10 plates on it. If you run it next year, cut 4 of them off. Same with the street stock. Put 12 plates on it.
You
Cut
understand
4
the
of them
math
off
here?
next year.
Yep.
That simple.
Simple.
And on the compact stuff, call Don Reno because I don't know anything about this.
I can spell compact.
Sometimes.
Man, don't put me on the spot. Make me spell that shit.
Come on.
Didn't we decide some other shit? Is there other stuff
We're going to do some Power Wheel stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we got some crazy shit going for the Power Wheels. Make sure your kids are there. Bring their Power Wheels.
Yes.
Can I run the Power Wheels class?
You aren't even good at running your mouth, so
I was going to ask if I could use Derek's golf cart.
No.
I seen you on another golf cart. Got a Snapchat of it.
Yep, but I didn't drive
Did
it.
you hit anybody?
I was just
They
sitting.
didn't let him drive it.
Oh,
The
that's
key
why.
was in it, but I just sat there.
He was grounded. He got his pee-pee smacked plenty of times after fucking Palmyra. No more golf carts for sale.
I sat on Tony's golf cart, and then one of the other, the one that was across the track announcer stand,
Chad.
the one that was dancing over there trying to keep the crowd in it.
Chad Bostic.
That's the one that I was sitting on.
Chad Boston.
Yep.
He was
He comes Shelbina.
Yeah.
In a two-doe.
Yeah, he got his ass gangbanged.
In a
hard.
two-doe.
Felt bad about him too. Because he's always like, I'm gonna hit one of them shows. He picked like the worst fucking show.
Go to. Yeah. You're like, maybe you should have saved that shit till October
Well,
or
I
something.
seen him and I was like, fuck, man, he's gonna be pissed off at me. And I mean, like, they weren't doing him dirty yet. They were getting ready to though.
Yep.
So Chad, I'll have to come run with you somewhere.
That right there, that just goes to show you the power, strength in numbers.
Oh, 100%.
You know, when
And
you're
he wasn't mad about it.
No.
No, not at all. But,
no,
and his shit sounded good and looked better.
it sounded really, really good. The football window looked good.
Fucking nasty.
Yeah.
Everybody knew what they were going after.
Oh yeah.
That's why they jumped on his ass.
Yep. Yeah. C80. Let's go after him.
So I told Chad, I was like, I'll have to come run with you somewhere. Maybe you can fuck me up.
But we will hit on that. You did say, we'll talk about Chad. Chad got with Michael Zerr, Cody Workmeister to do that point series down there. Well, Workmeister and Zerr were there last night as well. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, which we've seen Mike Zerr at Blizzard Bash, Carnage. My, does his shit run. Oh, my God.
The fabricator and builder that he is, we've talked about it a million times. If you're going to produce parts, you have to be able to prove the shit.
He proved the shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like if you made a new soda and you weren't drinking it because it tasted nasty, then how the fuck do you expect to sell it?
Yeah. He lost a wheel right front, took a nasty right front
Did it
45
bother him
shot.
though?
Nope. It was pissing him off because he struggling to get it in gear. And then he took off, and he just ran out of time. He just couldn't get it turned. Well, he went in, got it fixed for the consi, and straight sent that bitch. And I mean sent.
What car was he in last night?
Old
iron?
No, new style.
No, new style?
New style. I don't think it was an 03.
He was pitted right down from us, and I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of, looking at the spring pockets, but it just...
He's a fabricator builder, man.
He is. Yeah, that shit went. So, man, we're going to get off the P Hill. We're going to get to Drew. I have known Drew straight up, since he was in diapers.
So, a couple weeks.
Pampers instead of Depends.
Fair enough.
Okay. Run around playing basketball in his diapers, right across from my buddy's house, and
He still does that.
Yeah, I don't think I had a basketball goal because of Derek or one of his buddies.
He had the breakaway one that had the built-in springs, so we didn't hurt it too bad. Drew was born and raised in Shelbina.
You want to admit that?
Oh, yeah, I will.
You're always going to admit where you was born and raised. You might not admit moving back there.
Anybody ask where I'm from, I just say Shelbina. I
Yeah.
mean, I've lived in Jeff City, Hallsville, Centralia, but Shelbina's home.
Yep.
I think the first time I met you was in Centralia.
Probably so.
First time I met him was at Grant Bolton's wedding.
Yeah.
And for some
Y'all
reason,
need
he
to
was-
get on the wagon because that's like 28 years past.
Yeah, I was. I don't know. Anymore, it seems like a lot more people know me than I know them, and I'm like, you must have met me in my 20s because I don't remember.
I don't remember a whole lot of my 20s.
It's one of those, though, when I met him, it was an instant friendship, though.
Yep.
I mean, it just...
Yeah, but you were in love with him.
I was.
He is cute. Look at him.
I'm going to ask. You were the shop guy and the rider for so long.
Yeah, I actually, in high school, I actually bought a setup. I had a motor, I had everything, and living in Jeff City at the time, I just didn't have time to build one. Guy came to me, offered me more than my money back, and I was like, I had a clean 76 Impala I bought down at, I bought it down by Rolla. I was working on the road time right after I got out of high school and driving by on my way home and seen it and stopped and asked this guy and bought it. I pulled it into Sean Pfeiffer or Bobby Morgan's where we built Sean and Justin's cars, and Sean said, I'll double your money on that car. I mean, it was already stripped, it was ready to build, and he took it up and put it in the barn for a couple of years, and he ended up, I think, winning Shelpino with it that year that y'all talk about Eddie being
The gnat.
the gnat.
The little pestering bastard. Just
But yeah, that was
Sorry,
that was
Eddie.
when it started. 15 years old. I was at Grant Bowling's house, and we were riding four-wheelers to Justin's mom and dad's, building Queen from Shelpina. The only thing you had to look to at the fair was the Derby. I mean, went to the Derby from the time you were 5 till still going, and
Yep.
I mean, you seen the fights, you seen the rivalries. And the first Derby I went to with a car, I was 15, and they weren't, or I was 14. They weren't allowing kids under 16 or in the pits. So me and Grant and Justin, I think, was 15, but we had their old junkyard rollback, and 4 of us fit in that thing. And this rollback had hauled cars for Bobby down to St. Louis to Six Flags. I mean, wouldn't do 40 mile an hour. And I can remember we got to the pits, and they're like, well, you two need to go to the stands. And I mean, you talk about disappointment.
Yep.
But no, I've rode with it, Sean and Justin for years. Been in a couple of Brian's cars, been in a couple of Frank's cars. I remember I said never ride with Brian again after Madison. I got out and I couldn't see because the rust was so bad. But it was just part of it,
He's saying it. I actually bought that car. When they were stripping that car, Brian's shop guy caught it on fire.
Yeah, that was the car.
And then I busted my leg, so I had to sell it back. And Drew was the unfortunate bastard to get in there and ride with him.
Yeah, and I think his seat was dragging the ground by the end of the Derby. That was whenever they had it over by the school at Madison.
Yep.
And then, 2 years ago, I just started building. I said, guy here in Paris had an old sprayer truck with a 350 that was wore out.
Right, bound.
And we literally ran junkyard motors last year. I mean, that's
that motor that was in that truck wasn't a bone stock motor.
It wasn't a bone stock, but when it got tore apart this winter, there was a lot of. I had 2 pistons cracked.
Really?
There's some shit hurt.
There was a lot of shit hurt. We were surprised it even ran. I mean, when we put it on the starting stand, we took the spark plugs out, and we were like, "There's no way this thing's going to turn over," and it turned over. And I
remember when Mo and him built that motor.
Yeah.
Mo. And it had a cam in it.
Yeah, it had a
They
cam.
were better heads. And it had a 4-barrel intake on it. I think it had a performer intake on it. And
Yeah.
an Eldrock carburetor.
Yeah.
Nothing stupid, just enough to wake it up a little bit.
It was enough to make that motor run.
Yeah.
But I knew this motor was going to be reliable if I could get it to run.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was in a spray truck, and they ran them as hot as you can get them, and I mean high RPMs all day to keep their
I'm
pumps.
pretty
going.
sure it had a 4-speed behind it.
Yes.
The truck.
Yeah.
It's like a 79
Shit, yeah.
Chevrolet Pickup.
Yeah. And so we put on the starting stand. We pulled all the spark plugs out. It blew more shit out of the spark plug holes than. I mean, we had glasses on.
Oh, yeah.
And
Where'd that shit come from?
And I looked at Justin. I said, "There's no way this motor's going to start." And he said, "I don't know. I'm doubtful about it too." And about the third time it turned over, it fired. And both of us looked at each other and we were like, what the hell? And it came out. And, I mean, last year it did its job. I mean, so this year I ended up taking it to a guy that's not a derby car motor builder. He's a alcohol tractor builder for pulling tractors. And I said, here, you can make an alcohol tractor run with no water, nothing. Make this thing run. And between a couple other different people's recipes, he put something together, and he called me and he said, I can literally shake your pistons in your sleeves. I said, that's fine.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
I haven't had it. Last night was the hottest I'd ever gotten it. I lost my water pump belt about 5 minutes into the consi, and it never missed a lick until the end, and it still ran. Actually, the only reason I said on the end of the track was my pinion brake had caught fire, because your foot rests on the pinion brake, and everybody's like, your Cedric came out and he's like, your pinion brake's on fire, don't move. I'm like, oh fuck. So but no, that's how I got started. You know, Justin had a car up in the junkyard, bought it from him, and got 3 shows out of it, and got second place in Madison last year. And this year we went to Blizzard Bash, and let's just say the checkbook got pretty thin after we came back.
That is a lot of people that say that. A lot of guys, hey man, I'm going to go to Blizzard Bash. Where are you running? No, I'm just going to go hit the vendor hall.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many checkbooks are you taking? Because usually when you get in there, you're not realizing how much more shit you need until it's all laid out on the table or on the floor in front of you, and you're like, okay, I know I need that and that. That's what I came here for, but I'm looking on it, I need that and that and that and that, and they just keeps adding up.
Last year between barred parts, I called a buddy of mine over at Palmyra and got one of his slider shafts, and I called him. I'm like, dude, this is out of a grain cart. This slider's twice as big as what I need. And he's like, well, I don't think you have to worry about breaking it. I said, I don't think you got to worry about me breaking it either.
But that's, we just keep going back to that word progression, where you started, riding. I mean, every derby we always went to, you were in something riding. And we all kind of knew you were probably going to step out and start building yourself. Yeah. Just as Grant.
Yeah.
Grant Bowling, same way. Anytime I see, whether it's Justin or Sean or one of y'all was in one and one of y'all was in the other one. You kind of like, Mo and Curly a little bit. But I'm going to give you props, dude. I know we spoke a while back on the guy that you had building your motor. And it does not sound radical. It doesn't lope. It doesn't do all this nasty sounding shit. But when you put your foot on the gas, it goes.
Yeah. And, I mean, like I said, I spent the money. I felt where the money needed to be spent. You can have the baddest motor in the world and have the shittiest carburetor and have the shittiest motor. You can have the baddest motor and have a shitty rear end with shitty gears and still have a shitty motor.
Yep.
So I went with a mediocre motor that's halfway reliable, that will run and stay running, but not sound obnoxious. And I put the money on top of the motor and behind it. I still run an old wore out 400 turbo. I don't have a built transmission.
But you're not hard on your shit either.
No,
we really pay attention to that. You're off the gas. You're not grabbing reverse while you're still running 15 mile an hour.
Yeah. Now, last night I was a couple times, but
I think you were getting some help.
Yeah, I was getting some help on where I was going for sure. But no, it's just, I don't know. I used to think, I wanted the baddest sounding motor, or, you wanted some high horsepower motor, but in the stock cars, it's a class you can literally build out of junk. And that is straight where I started at, was parts borrowed, used parts, and junkyard motors. That was our saying last year, was junkyard motors till the end, and it showed in Madison. 3 of us with junk motors made it to the end. And Justin, his motor.
Everybody says all that. I'm telling you, there's people out there that are, in quotations, big name drivers that are still running those little motors. A set of gears will make a motor go.
I've had the conversation with Rob Hewer before. Rob will tell you
His van 305.
he's got some Collier. Rob's got Collier. Rob's got good shit.
Mm-hmm.
But his favorite motor is legitimately a bone stock 350 with a little cam and some good hits.
Yep.
People think they need to do this and that and that. And they don't. If they just put a good set of cast heads and a little cam, and you put a 4-barrel on that son of a bitch, and it will smooth wake it right up.
Well, and
then put a 486 or put a 513 behind it. Guess what? It's going to wake it up twice. Which like I said, yours doesn't rap stupid.
No.
But it's just...
It's there. I mean, you know it's there. And like I said, I mean, it just... Reliability is what I want. I didn't want a motor, if I bust a radiator, that I had shut it off. And
You don't have to if your pockets are deep enough.
Well, I didn't want to have one that I had fixed.
He does not work on the road anymore. He is not a crane operator anymore, so his deep pockets probably aren't as deep as they used to be in the earlier days.
They're not. But, I mean, I just went for the reliability factor. What I thought was going to be reliable and what I was used to, what I grew up around, being at Justin and Sean's, was nothing outrageous, nothing. I mean, nothing against big motor guys, but you can have that chip. You'll never hear me bounce off a chip.
And that is the thing. You started in this game with guys
that I always say didn't like doing cars. I mean,
we don't go to a derby to cut. I'll tell you, you can come look at our cars. You can come watch our cars be built.
I have. Remember what I said to you? I was like, you all should have welded more.
Yeah.
On this car.
But literally, we come to a show, we take a salsa. Grinder. We don't want to throw the torch in. I mean, we like to go there, sit on any shade tree
Maybe
and
can
drink
you
beer.
throw some down tubes in it or something?
I did put down tubes.
You
this
did
year.
yesterday?
Well, I had them in there, but you could only weld them to the sheet metal. So I didn't really think it was going to benefit me to put them down to it. And now if you could have ran them to the frame, I probably would have went on and put them in. But this year I did put down tubes in my first car. And we built 2 cars different this year. And I'm not going
for a trial?
See for a trial.
See what it's going to do?
Justin built his way, and I built mine my way. I must like to get burnt and everything else a lot more than he does, because I did a little bit more welding than he did. But he's old-fashioned. You won't change his ways, and hey,
drive like Justin.
You can't build a car and not drive like him. I mean,
right.
Not everybody can get in that car and do what it does.
No.
With him driving it, which we've conversed on that before.
He's built so many of them the same way. He knows what they're going to do every time.
He texted me the other day, not to cut you off, Drew. Justin texted me the other day. And he said, I was listening to your podcast. He said, in Boone County, whenever I turned it up, I had to. What do you mean? I lost steering. He's like, that's the only reason you see me turn it up. And I was like,
yeah, we were
fair enough.
We were talking about that, and he said, I'm going to text him. I'm going to settle this, get this set straight. But, yeah, he did, and, I mean, I've always said if you could put him in a hard car and let him drive the way he drives, I think he could go.
Hell, he might be able to run for 3 years. Seriously. And I'm not knocking him, but the way he can conserve throughout a show. And then you have rode
he's
with
the
him.
most impressive, disappointing driver I've ever seen. And I've told him this because I don't know why he's not round back every show.
Yeah.
A hard-ass fucking round back. If you put him in Junior Cardwell's round back.
Stock car? I don't think he'd ever lose.
Ever. Because
unless something stupid happened, parfait or something. But.
Well, and just like Junior had, stupid shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he could take a car like Junior had, which I guess Junior did it too, and make that car last a decade.
12 shows. Get a dozen shows out of a stock car. because it's ass.
Yeah,
And he drives backwards. I mean,
that's what he does.
We've said I said it last week. He is the backwards driving sumbitch I've ever seen in a new style. Period.
Crazy.
And I don't know how he's did it. I guess he's did it so many years, but that pimp stick or shifter,
Oh yeah.
I had one last year, and I threw that sumbitch out the window, so I'll never run one again. And that's
But
just
you
what
look like me. I'm in park every day.
he'll get in my car and he'll cuss my cable shifter. He said, "I don't know why you run this unreliable thing." He says, but it's just his way of driving. And
Yeah.
you talk about all the years of riding at Shelbina this summer, Rob. He said, well, all them years of riding went out the window about the time you half track somebody. And
Well, you start out very patient, as you will see while you're riding. We talked after the July show at Shelbina that you knew the numbers weren't in your all's favor.
yeah,
Which they're all, buddies.
yeah,
Some closer than the other. But, I think Stephen and I even talked about that too, is that you've got one group as a whole, but when it gets down to the numbers, then that group is splitting into two again.
mm-hmm.
You told me you knew it was down to those, split, and it was time to get it on.
yeah.
I just didn't figure you'd have a couple cars on your lid after that flip.
And I had
Switch.
and
That come down to that track being a pile of shit.
yeah, it was. And like I said, me and Cindy have been friends our whole lives, and we'll still run together. I mean, but I know when it does get down to us, I got something coming. And like I said, I had no intentions of flipping nobody. I mean, like I said,
Right.
it just the way it happened. And it's a funny
I didn't
thing.
see you let out of it when he was going up.
Well, it's just
I think that was whiskey throttle.
it might have been, but we had a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun.
I enjoy that shit. I do. And I love watching how many people that Justin's got into the sport itself.
Oh yeah,
The people he's brought in, that you got Quentin Robinson and stuff like that. And Quentin, he called me a couple times. He's like, "Oh, we're doing this, this, and this. And, this is how the car is." Or he sent me a Snapchat. And I'm like, "Dude, you need to keep well." Well, Justin said I didn't need to do this. I was like, "You are not Justin Morgan."
no,
I was
mean,
like, "You're going to go out there and use the front of your car."
yeah,
I was like, "Put your plates on." Well, Justin said that we didn't need. I was like, Justin doesn't need those plates.
Correct.
he does.
You need those plates.
If it was Justin's option, only plates would be from the hump's back.
Well, if it was Justin's option, there wouldn't be any plates on any car.
On any fresh car, he will argue anybody, and he don't care.
We've had the argument. We've
And-
damn near wrestled over the shit.
Like I said, the 10 plates at the deal. He just
Oh my god, me and him, I can't wait to get this fight started back up. I guarantee it's coming as soon as he finds out.
it will.
And sees it.
But I just keep myself in the back, and I just keep welding. I'm like, I'm gonna take them if they're gonna give them to me.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I did slack on. Of course, I had other things more important than plates this weekend, but I didn't have plate one. Neither one of us did. It just didn't work out. At 12 o'clock on Friday night, I wasn't going to start welding plates.
Right. See, I almost will.
And
Yeah.
I had the ability to welder and everything over there, and I was so tired.
I seen you sleeping under your truck or trying to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we've said it, not very many people can do what Justin can do in a new style. That's all you have got to run so
Yeah.
far, right?
Yep.
Lincoln's?
Yep. I had a square body. Well, no, I had a square body
You had
Crown
a square
Vic
body Vic that you brought to Madison last year, right?
last year, and then I had a 94, 90 town car this summer, and then I just ran another 97 Vic yesterday.
You are starting to get your fill of the shows around here. You're not jumping in the deep end to a street stock or anything like that. Are you trying to look forward maybe to next year, jumping the program up a little bit? You guys did go to P Hill. It's not like that's just a bag show of just a fair. But
We talked about that yesterday on the way there, and we were kind of excited. We were nervous as hell, but excited to go run against different people.
Right.
And we knew what we were getting into. We just didn't know it would have been 27 on 4 or whatever. Not on 4.
a lot on not enough.
A lot on not enough. Like they said, you used to send drivers to me. If you don't have a buddy, find one.
Right.
You're not going to stop team driving. I mean,
We say that at every show, and you've run enough now that if you've got friends out there, are you going to immediately go after Justin as soon as you all pull on track?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Why
not.
not? It's team driving. Why aren't you hitting him? He's a fair car out there.
That's what they say. That's that argument from the stands.
He's a fair car. They dropped the flag. You're not going to go tear somebody's car up that you put time in?
Oh, hell no.
No. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like any other car. Yeah, no, that's fucking stupid.
Well,
You even think that that's rational.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember back in the day going to derbies, and I think it was Floyd. He would say, if you don't have a buddy, you better find one.
100%.
And it's true. And we knew going over there, we had four buddies.
I start politicking the 2 times that I've run Bash, and anywhere we go. As soon as I get there, I start politicking.
Yeah, we had some
Oh,
guys.
yeah. Who you're out of it.
Over the pants.
Yeah.
A little bit here. Go. Take one to the base. Come on now.
Yeah.
We had some guys that was not going to run with us, but wasn't gonna
Go against you.
go against us. I mean,
I think you get that a lot around here, man.
I try to make sure that's the whole field when I pull out on the track.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so you're not running with me, but you're not running against me.
Correct.
Okay, just leave me alone. I'm going to go over here.
yeah.
And
You,
I'm gonna,
you go over there.
and I'm going to go fuck around over here. And then whenever it comes down to 3 or 4 of us, we'll meet back
Game
over
on.
here.
Yeah. You guys just didn't have that option yesterday.
No, we didn't. I mean, we knew we were going to have to drive our asses off, and I still got a car left. It's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot to convince me to run again this year. I mean,
10 plates, I don't know how
October 15th.
much more convincing a guy can get.
if I can get somebody to bend it back down and weld them up, I'd probably go drive it again.
I know where there's a frame machine.
I know where there's
You
one
know
out
where
there.
there's a frame machine. So you can pull it, bend it, plate it,
That sounds like one of those games.
Finish it.
Pop it.
pop
twist
it,
it.
If I
pop it,
can
twist
show
it,
it.
pull it.
Yeah. I don't know. As of right now, I'm probably done for the year. But
That's what I
Which-
got.
well,
That's
we-
what I love this show,
Yeah, but we caught the dude with 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours and 3 days of sleep. Got the living shit beat out of him for an entire night, and then we're saying, "Hey, want
You
to
gonna run it out
come?
there?
Want to come and
You
show
got
him
a-
up?"
You got a month.
Hey,
You're
hey.
good. I'm telling you, if my name would have popped up on my phone in his situation, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah, I told you to eat a dick,
Uh-huh.
and wouldn't even have
100%.
paid attention to it.
yeah, I was like, after you called this morning, I fell back asleep and I woke up and it's 11:30, and I'm like, he's gonna have to deal with me being late today.
That's
He
all
beat
right.
me here.
We stayed at the Stagecoach Inn last night at P Hill, and nobody's ever been in the Stagecoach. It's very homey. It used to be a nursing home.
I'd heard it was kind of like a dorm.
It kind of
Did you
is.
and your wife enjoy the shackles and shit that were there?
There was no shackles, but there was an adjoining bathroom between the rooms.
Perfect.
Community shower.
Community
I
shower down the
Did y'all
hall.
get in on that?
Did not. We
Throw the
didn't.
pineapple up
I
outside?
did not throw the pineapple up. If I knew it was a community shower, I'd have probably brought some other flip flops and some towels and shit, but we didn't.
So you didn't go hang a dick in there with the
Did not.
smart people?
Nope. No pineapples. Got up, ate some breakfast, and rolled home.
Fair enough.
So, well, usually we ask, what's your plans for the rest of the year,
Hold on, I
at this point in
I got a
time.
better replacement question.
Okay.
How'd you get your number?
Hey, that's my question.
Ha 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 ha.
I don't know. 7 was always kind of my number back in the day, playing sports, and I just decided to put the D on the side of it. And
Put
you
the
throw
D
the-
on
throw
the
the D on
side.
Hey, but his D is not a complete D. He's got a little space in between there.
Because a lot of people think it's a 0.
that's what. Yeah, I mean it is confusing, and I might have did that just kind of for shits and grins. Maybe,
Thanks. Tanya appreciates that.
maybe for some reason. But like I said, that's just where it came from. And that roof sign, I don't know how many people's tried to straighten it up since July. And I'm like, why are you even worried about it?
They haven't put enough heat to it.
Well, I tell you, we do have this guy
Broadhead.
over in Heber City, Utah.
He makes some kick ass.
That you can catch him on Facebook under Broadhead Decals.
Quality shit.
Tell him.
And he'd make you some badass 7D shit.
Yes.
Where you can see
all
it
you
was
gotta do is
7D.
tell him kind of your colors, what you want on there, and he will send you a print, and you okay it, and he sends it to you.
He's revamping our filthy logo now. Well, shit, I've been running 3 roof signs on everything I could find. I almost put one on my fucking truck.
But you seriously, dude, Broadhead Decals. Get him. Look on Facebook.
He's killer.
I make like $100 for the roof sign with the metal, a big metal sign, and you eat shipping.
Huh.
And I think we had it in 3 days.
Yeah, I'll give him a look. Like I said, I mean,
He makes some awesome stuff.
I ain't the first one that, or you guys ain't the first ones to comment about my roof sign. I catch kind of a lot of shit about it.
Well, at least you have a roof sign, though.
I'd just soon throw the son of a bitch out the window, but
Our scorekeeper sitting next to me would not oblige that. She would have.
I think mine's heavy enough it caves in my roof every time I let it bolt it on.
It's made out of fucking half-inch steel.
Bolted to your halo.
I seen them whenever they put it on that last time. They had to pick it up with a skid loader. So his car wouldn't come back over.
That's why I just stayed. Skid loader couldn't pick it up.
That's right.
Bolted to your halo next time.
Well, man, we know you were wore out. We know you're tired. We know you're sore. Everybody's tired.
Well, let's put a wrap on this bitch.
P Hill Unreal Show. Drew, thanks for coming out.
See you Halloween Avenue.
Beating us here. I bet you there can be enough Snapchat pimping for the next month that he will either A, get tired of us and just say fuck it and bring it,
Or
go burn it.
Right.
You know, plain and simple.
Don't burn it.
I don't know. We talked about it last night. It's hard to look at a car all winter.
Didn't he tell us that this summer?
Yeah.
I got to junk this thing. I got to pull my shit out of it. I'm done with it. I'm done looking at it.
We'll see what happens. I don't think you'll see me in.
That wasn't a no.
I don't think you'll see me in Pleasant Hill the 22nd though. But
You might be spectating at least.
slim chance you might see me in Paris. Just see how fall goes so far.
I'll probably go over and spectate on the 22nd, support that a little
I would
bit.
actually like to make another one. I'd like to go watch again some more.
From the beer
Profession
garden.
replacement.
Can't do that. It's the reason I can start buying parts again.
Drew, appreciate you, man.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, thank you,
100%.
Barry.
Halloween Havoc. It's coming.
October 15th.
Watch it out on Facebook.
If you have any questions, call Derek.
Negative. Make junk, boys.